The movie kicks off with a man named Mike getting ready for a job. He carefully wipes down his weapons. He throws on a sharp suit before stepping out. He got in his car, checks his map for the exact location, and drives off to where he's been instructed to go. Once he arrives, Mike doesn't rush in. Instead, he stays calm while also keeping a close eye on his target from a distance. And before long, he begins trailing the person quietly. The scene then switches over to a jewelry store where the shop owner is seen handing over some important documents to a group of men posing as insurance officers. From a conversation, it's clear they've come to drop a special diamond for him to safeguard. But while all of that is happening, Mike, who has been tracking and watching them, quickly comes up with a plan. He suddenly uses his car to block the officer's route, forcing him to stop. Mike pulls out a mask, covers his face, and steps out with a gun in hand. He points the weapon at his target, orders him into the back of his car, and demands a safe code. With no other choice, the officer gives in, and Mike successfully gets access to the diamonds before then driving off. A month later, the story jumps back to the same jewelry store where the owner is seen preparing another diamond delivery. He carefully hands the expensive jewelry over to two of his guys. Before they leave, he warns them sternly not to stop for anyone, no matter what happens, until the delivery is completed. The two men follow his instructions and hit the road, fully focused on their mission. However, what they don't realize is that Mike is once again on their trail, keeping a close distance as he secretly follows behind them. Eventually, they pull into a parking area, believing they've made it safely. Mike appears with his vehicle. He points his gun as he catches them completely off guard. Mike immediately demands the diamonds, threatening them to cooperate if they value their lives. He even tells them to stay calm and hand everything over peacefully, reminding them that the shipment is insured and he doesn't want any unnecessary trouble. They drop their weapons and surrender, giving Mike the upper hand. Mike then moves closer and orders them to hand over the real diamonds along with the delivery paperwork. At first, one of the men insists he doesn't have any documents, but Mike doesn't buy it. After pushing harder, he eventually forces the man to give up the papers. Just when it seems like Mike is about to walk away clean, the second man, still inside the vehicle, secretly pulls out another gun and fires at him. But in a shocking turn of events, the attacker gun misfired instead, leaving Mike with a perfect chance to flee the scene before anyone could stop him. Mike got to a parking lot where he then exchanged his vehicle. The following day, we're introduced to a woman named Denny Daniels, an insurance agent who pays a visit to the luxurious home of a wealthy man named Chad. Chad proudly gives her a full tour around his massive house. It quickly becomes clear that Denny is there for business, specifically to convince him to insure his collection of expensive paintings. But while she's still discussing the coverage, Denny suddenly comes across Chad's fiancée named Jade, revealing that the two of them are set to get married very soon. Denny quickly uses this opportunity to pitch wedding insurance, too, hoping to secure an even bigger deal. On the other side of the city, Detective Lou and his team goes over the details of the diamond heist, where they discover fake diamonds left behind at the scene. Lou questions the man who was held at gunpoint, and the man reveals that Mike knew everything about them, even his wife's name. When Lou interviews the officer who shot at Mike, the man explains that his gun somehow misfired. As Lou puts the pieces together, he realizes the thief had precise knowledge of both officers' delivery schedules, had disabled every camera along the route, and executed the entire robbery with perfection, leaving behind not a single trace. Back to Mike, who is now in his apartment, take out his diamond, and all of a sudden he noticed he has a wound on his head and immediately began to panic. Meanwhile, in Denny's office, her colleague named Phil asks about the Chad deal. She confirms that it's moving along, then brings up her long overdue promotion with her boss. However, he brushes it off once again, leaving her frustrated. That evening, Mike meets his contact, Nick, who usually provides him with everything he needs for his jobs. Mike tells Nick that the last heist went slightly wrong. A bullet grazed him, and he feels uneasy about it. Although he already has a plan for another diamond store robbery, Mike decides to hold off, sensing that something could go wrong. Nick agrees to wait, but insists that Mike take a rest vacation. However, just as Mike leaves, Nick makes a phone call hinting that not everything is as it seems. Later, Mike did in accordance to what he was told, which was to have fun to clear his head. The next day, Nick meets with another thief named Barry. He shares Mike's entire plan with him, instructs him to carry out the robbery himself, and tells him to keep a close watch on Mike. Later that evening, just as Mike is driving, a woman named Mia accidentally crashes her car into his. Mike steps out, and she apologizes. Maya insists they exchange insurance details, but Mike refuses and instead hands her some cash to fix the car. After some insistence, Mike finally agrees to exchange information, and in the process, they swap phone numbers. The next day, Detective Lou visits Denny to discuss the diamond heist insurance claim. Denny is firm that the company shouldn't pay out without a thorough investigation. She explains that in most theft cases, there's usually someone on the inside, and they always follow a pattern. With this, Lou begins to dive into hundreds of past theft reports, piecing together a clear pattern. The robber seems to operate near 101 Freeway, meticulously plans each heist down to the minute, knows exactly where and when the diamonds will appear, and has never actually hurt anyone, but only using the gun purely as a threat. At the same time, Barry executes his own heist. He confronts the officer and demands that he hands over the diamonds. When he couldn't, Barry leaves the officer seriously injured and then storms inside, attacking the rest of the staff. He then proceeded to shove every diamond necklace and gold item into a bag and calmly walks out. Back at the investigation office, Lou faces pushback from his boss. Lou insists that all the robberies he's identified were carried out by a single mastermind, but his boss disagrees, pointing out that the suspects Lou mentioned have already been arrested and are connected to the current case. Later, Mike messages Maya, asking her to join him for dinner. That night, they meet at a restaurant and start talking. At first, Maya admits she's unsure about them, feeling they don't have much in common, especially with how fancy the place is. Mike then confesses it's his first time there, too, and he just wanted to impress her. They both laugh at the moment, breaking the tension. The two then decide to visit another place, and this time they had a much better conversation as Maya reveals to Mike that she worked for a media company where they work with a lot of actors and stuff. After the date, Mike and Maya go their separate ways, but Mike soon realizes that his planned robbery was carried out by someone else. He instantly knows Nick is behind it. Detective Lou reviews the CCTV footage. While everyone assumes it's the usual suspects, Lou points out they're mistaken. The real thief never actually harms anyone. Meanwhile, Mike confronts Nick, who casually tells him that he never intended to go through with it anyway. But this time, Mike makes it clear it's not about the robbery, it's about trust. He warns Nick that if it ever happens again, their partnership is over. Nick fires back, claiming Mike is nothing without him. Mike walks out, cutting ties for good. Later, the jewelry owner is brought in for more tin investigation, and this time he is put in a lie detector machine. The next day, Nick meets with Barry and spills sensitive details about Mike and his hacker, Devin. He tells Barry to keep tabs on both, warning that Mike is planning another heist. Barry agrees, starts tailing Devin, and eventually spots Mike outside a restaurant. After the meeting, Mike gets information about Denny's schedule. Days later, Mike created a situation where he had a conversation about cars with Denny, since she loves car. That night, Mia stops by Mike's place. They end up dancing together, and the romantic tension between them grows even stronger. Later that night, Mike steps out for some fresh air and spots Barry lurking nearby. Realizing his location has been compromised, he checks his car and discovers a tracking device underneath. He packs up and moves to a new place. Later, Barry catches up with Devin, trying to get him to spill details about what Mike is planning next. Detective Lou stumbles upon Mike's old getaway car abandoned along Highway 101. With its cracked mirrors, Lou quickly realizes this was the vehicle involved in the heist. Not quite long, the team arrives on the scene and starts digging for clues. The focus then shifts to Mike at an art show, where he's quickly spotted by Denny. He invites her to a nearby restaurant, and she agrees. Over their conversation, Mike tells Denny that it isn't a coincidence that he found her. He reveals his true identity, a thief who targets high-V value items. He also tells Danny that she has spent 11 years at the same company, clearly the best at what she does, and yet she haven't been made a partner. He tells her she deserves more, and he can help. Denny immediately rejects any involvement in illegal activities. Before leaving, Mike drops one last unusual instruction. If she ever changes her mind, she should post a photo of her feet on Instagram, and he'll reach out. Suddenly, Mike notices Barry and immediately goes after him with his car. And after a long ride between the two, Barry unfortunately crashed into an oncoming vehicle. He follows Barry into a nearby supermarket and demands to know who he's working for. When Barry stays silent, Mike presses a gun to him, warning that if he ever interferes with his plans again, he'll be hunted down. Faced with a threat, Barry quickly backs off and agrees to stay out of Mike's way. The next day, Lou and his team got a reported theft. As the scene unfolds, a fleeing suspect is shot by officers only to reveal it's a young boy unarmed. Afterward, one officer quietly places a gun near him, seemingly to justify the shooting. Later at the office, the senior colleague insisted that Lou keep the same statement as the other officers in order to cover their wrongful act. Back to the company, Mia shares some shocking news. She secured insurance for Chad's wedding. She also reveals that Chad plans to give away $5.5 million worth of diamonds to his guests, with the diamond agent handling delivery and collecting the same amount in cash. Later, Larry talks to Denny, telling her that her promotion will have to wait until next year due to the company's financial struggles. Denny points out that the firm had a strong year, and while Larry made partner in 5 years, she's been there 11. Frustrated, she threatens to take her clients and walk out. Larry responds coldly, and Denny storms off in anger. Meanwhile, after DNA analyzes the hair found in Mike's abandoned car, the DNA trace leads to a name, Jason Bixes, but the last record on him dates back to when he was just 8 years old. Back to Denny. She heads to the beach and posts a photo of her feet, giving Mike the signal he's been waiting for. She then contacts him with a full plan, which was a diamond agent will arrive at Chad's wedding carrying $5.5 million in diamonds and collect the same amount in cash, totaling $11 million. Denny wants $3 million as her cut. Mike agrees, but insists on receiving the complete insurance file and all details about the security guard in charge. Lou goes to visit him orphanage, trying to find information about the identity on the DNA results, but he got nothing. That night, Mike gets a call from his old orphanage. His guardian mentions a detective asking about someone named Jason. She gives Lou the phone, who then tells Mike that he wants to meet him in person. Mike just hangs up, silent. Later, Denny stays late at the office and sends the guard's file to Mike. When she gets home, Barry is waiting. He grabs her, demanding to know everything she and Mike are planning. Terrified, Denny spills it all. The next day, Denny meets Lou about the situation. Lou warns her that if he takes official action, she'll be the first to get arrested. He tells her to stay quiet and let him handle it, but he needs every detail she knows about Mike. 2 days later, Lou reviews the first robbery's evidence and quietly pockets the fake diamonds. In the evening, Mia met with Mike, and there she presses Mike to reveal the truth about himself, but he refuses. Frustrated and tired of the secrets, she breaks up with him and walks away. The day of the heist is here. Mike drives to the Antwerp airport parking lot and, following Denny's info, he intercepts the insurance guard while also threatening his family and leaving him no choice but to cooperate. On the plane, Mike has already met the real diamond agent. He walks out of the airport, stepping in to play the agent's role. Lou disguised himself as the other investor. The two drive to the wedding venue, sharing a brief chat about Mike's childhood. Meanwhile, Denny loses her cool and went on to confront her boss, who is clearly brainwashing the lady who just joined the company. Now, at the hotel penthouse, Mike and Lou arrive at the event, which is later revealed that Barry is already inside as a chef. Mike confronts Chad and Eva, pulling a gun and demanding the cash and diamonds. Eva hands over the cash. Mike asks Lou to open his safe for the jewels, but inside is a gun. Lou grabs it, points it at Mike, and reveals he's a police officer. Just then, Barry broke into the apartment. Barry held everyone at gunpoint, and unfortunately, Barry shot Chad. He goes for the jewelries while also insisting that Lou drop his gun. And yet again during this, Mike managed to get a gun and shoot Barry dead, thereby saving Lou quickly. Lou tells Mike to leave everything and walk out quietly, stating he will blame everything on Barry and then close the case by naming him as the Highway 101 thief, and that will be the end of it. Mike quietly leaves the diamonds and cash behind before leaving. Chad, angry and hurt, threatens to report everything to the authorities. Lou stays composed, pointing out that going to the police would expose the untaxed $5.5 million deal. The undeclared diamonds could be confiscated and Chad could land in serious legal trouble. A few days later, Lou is spotted on a bus carrying real diamonds. He decides to visit Denny and gives her some of the diamonds he retrieved from the scene, believing she truly earned them. Later, Lou drives to a location to find a brand new car waiting for him. A silent thank you for letting Mike walk free. Meanwhile, across town, Mia is at her office when a letter arrives. Inside is an old childhood photo of Mike revealing he grew up in a foster home with nothing, along with a simple note asking for one more chance. The movie then came to an end.